Okay, so you're in our Torrington facility, which is where we manufacture the fuel cell components that we ship literally around the world. If you look at over the historical time frame that we've been doing that, about a third of the product out of here has gone towards Europe, about a third to North America, and about a third into Asia. So we really are an international company, and we're recognized as the leader in this technology worldwide. We have another facility in Danbury, Connecticut down here. We've got about 140,000 square feet where we do all the engineering, corporate functions, service work, and whatnot out of it. But the physical parts are made here. And it's been a long way to get here. We've spent about $500 million over the last 30 years developing this technology. When I first came and started working for this company, literally we were in a laboratory with Tygon tubing, figuring out how to make this stuff work. So over the years, we really have come a long way from what was a really good idea that needed a lot of support and a lot more support than we thought, and we've turned it into a commercial business. This facility here has about 50 megawatts per year capacity, which is a significant amount of capacity in the fuel cell world. It's larger than anything else by far that exists. So why would someone want a fuel cell? Well, this is really what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's cleaner than anything else. And anything else, if you look at it on a firm power basis, even includes wind and solar. You can see some of the comparisons in terms of there, and basically you can see for the fuel cells, the bars are almost non-existent compared to traditional generation. So besides being renewable, depending on the fuels that go in it and what state or jurisdiction you're in, it's extremely clean, and it is the most efficient way to get power to a source like this. Next slide, please. So what do we do here? We build these things. This little part right here, those of you that stay for the tour will see us making those. It's basically the building block that builds all of our products. We take these cells and put them into what we call a stack. Okay, that stack then is turned into a single stack module or a four stack module, which are the two products that we ship out of this facility. Okay, and with those two pieces, we put together our series of products. We've got a DFC 300, which is a 300 kilowatt device. So it's the kind of thing that would work for a grocery store, a 300-bed hotel, something like that. That's kind of the market that that's at. We have the DFC 1500, which is a convention center, a wastewater treatment facility, or a large bed hotel. Okay, we've got the DFC 3000, which is a large hospital, manufacturing facility, universities, and that actually starts to get us into the utility scale, where the utilities can use this as generation at a substation, help support a constrained grid or something like that. And then we put those into multiple configurations for these multi-megawatt installations, is what you're going to start seeing showing up in the utility. The Project 150 that was the precursor to this last legislation that we've got in, put about 50 megawatts worth of these out, or is in the process of putting 50 megawatts of these out across the state in various locations to help green up the local utility grid. So I just want to talk about sort of three types of applications that we did that I think sort of stand out. How many in here have heard of Sierra Nevada beer, ale? Okay. Everyone here loves it. This is such a good story. You can see in 2006, this plant won the Plant of the Year award for Power magazine. And it's just such a great story. You can see there's a megawatt worth of our units out at the facility. The facility is out in the country, away from the central generation, so it's at the end of what's called a radial feeder, and the power quality wasn't so good. So the owner was having problems with power quality, wanted to do something to firm up his capacity to make beer. It's the only place in the world it's made is in that facility. So if you go down to the store here and buy it, it was made out in Chico, California. Okay, so we put those units in, run them on natural gas so that he could have the generation he needed to do that. But he didn't stop there. At the end of the brewery process, they end up with all these biosolids left over. They're basically taking them out and putting them in the field as compost. Okay, he took those and put them in something that's called an anaerobic digester, which turns them into methane and CO2. And today, 50% of the power that he uses comes from what was that waste stream. So it's a wonderful application. It's renewable. It is just the reason it won that award was because it really is the right thing to do. He was just a little bit ahead of his time. Next slide. We talk about hotels. There's another one on there. Those of you that have been around maybe and listened to some of the stories from Fuel Cell Energy over the years, they talk about a megawatt on a tennis court. We sort of had to do that. So here's a megawatt worth of facilities at the Sheraton Hotel Marina in San Diego. It's a very interesting facility, again, because if you go out there, anyone's been out there, stayed at that, it's a wonderful facility right by the airport. Okay? If you've been there in the last 4 years, while units were there, when you took a shower there, the hot water was coming from these units. Okay? Basically, these units, net meter out, they produce almost all the power that that facility uses. So the power came from the fuel cells. The waste heat from the fuel cells makes all the hot water for the showers. It heats the swimming pools, makes a little bit of steam that's used in the laundry process that's done on site, and the kitchen for cleaning and purposes in the kitchen on there. So it's really a great story of them trying to put in something to support their power need and use that waste heat super efficiently. And it's another very good installation. Next. And then another one that we've got that's a very interesting play is this one. It's the Santa Rita Correctional Facility out in Dublin, California. They started out, you can see the pictures on the top. You see sort of the shiny surfaces there. They put solar PV on the tops of all the places that they could. Their goal was they wanted to not buy power from the utility. They wanted to be completely self-power contained, and they wanted to be green. So they put in about a megawatt worth of solar on there and started running out of surfaces and places to put the solar. So they wanted to do something to reduce their carbon footprint even further. So what did they do? They put in one of our 1 megawatt DFC 1500 fuel cells and ran it on natural gas. Now you might say, well, natural gas, how can you reduce your carbon footprint on something that you're putting in with natural gas? Well, if you look at that, that unit is so efficient, and they also use the heat and the rest of those things in their process, that by adding the fuel cell to the solar, they were able to significantly reduce their carbon footprint even further and make the goal that they were trying to do. And they physically weren't able to put enough solar panels up to do that because of the capacity factor of the solar panels versus the fuel cell, and the fact that the fuel cells are so efficient in generating things, even though they consume natural gas, they significantly reduce their carbon footprint. So I wanted to sort of leave those 3 types of applications as 3 sort of general types of applications of why these products we make here are so timely in the economic and political environment that we're in. Thank you.